Sometimes I think a game can be overhyped, and it actually be very negative for the game. I also think that with a lot of games, there's something called recency bias, where we're just so excited that it's released and it's new, putting that energy into a positive space for it, and then once that shines off, it's not as good, and we almost feel like it had no staying power. All of these things I believe are true to many games, and in some ways I think with Wildfrost, it might be both of these things. I've got some things to clarify while talking about this game, but I do believe that recency bias and just it being overhyped is definitely an issue with this game. My name is Nima, let's talk about Wildfrost. Before we get into that though, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button. It means the world to me and it doesn't cost you anything. I have to say one thing before we get going, and that is that I don't really like card games typically. Some of them are fine and I get the mechanics of them, but other games, there's just way too many mechanics and it's just too convoluted after a while. Now, I will be honest, Wildfrost isn't really that. To an extent, there is some more deeper, complex like combos you can put together or even deck building that can be done, but it's not overly complicated. It just takes repetition before you understand all the mechanics because it doesn't do a great job of explaining everything to you. Now, outside of that though, I really didn't have any problem with it being a card game. In fact, I rather enjoyed it for being a card game. So Wildfrost is about a world that was lush, green, and beautiful. And then a storm came along, and the tribes and people were left in this Arctic condition. Many of them froze. There was a small group of survivors that clung to life and learned to adapt to this kind of condition. And you follow the, albeit short, but informative lives of many of the leaders of these tribes as they embark on an adventure across this frozen wasteland to recover artifacts, frozen travelers, and even special journals that allow for us to find out what happened to this world and how those that did survive survived. Now, as I said before, we start each journey with a leader of one of the tribes. At the start of the game, you only have one tribe, but as you continue through the game, you will unlock more and more tribes, to the point where you can understand the difference in each tribe. Just like Fox News, diversity is something that is okay, but not something you want too much of, because many of the cards from the same play style build off of each other, which ultimately does make sense. This is a thing that I'm not exactly great with, because I always try to build a team that is well-rounded instead of focusing on one or two things. And as I played the game, I realized that was the best way for success, was just to really lean in to the things that your cards are already doing and just help propel them further by adding additional weapons, additional cards that are going to play off of and make those scenarios even better. For instance, like poisoning is like something I really use in about every game. Yes, I am one of those people. And once I tried to stop like shoehorning in health regen cards and focus more on just the poison aspect, I actually found myself able to go further in this game. It's not incredibly difficult, but it is. It's a roguelike. You're meant to die. The one thing that stood out to me was, though, that even though you're able to delay an attacker's hit, you can't actually avoid them. There are no misses in this game, which on your side is nice, but when you realize that you're just overpowered and basically whoever brings the most weapons to the table is going to be the one that wins, sort of, I don't know, ruins it a little bit. It takes that idea of strategy and kind of puts it on its head. And I'm not saying that you can't out-strategize the situation. You definitely can, but all the right things have to fall in your way, meaning you have to have found the right travelers, you have to have bought the right cards or found the right cards, and then you have to be in a situation where everything is playing towards your way, and that's how you can go further. And to clarify, most of these situations happen pretty far in your journey, but that's another thing that I wasn't incredibly impressed with, is apparently I was doing really well in the game and I had unlocked a lot of stuff, but I didn't really know it. The world building doesn't really show you that you've gained that much. One of the ways that they could do this is maybe by allowing you more control over creating the town. Or, I don't know, they'd actually allow you to take some of these things with you. See, many of the things you unlock are just something that you might stumble upon across your path, but it doesn't really feel like you're able to harness this new power or that you're able to get further because of this or that. It's a very slow burn to get to the point where you feel like the roguelike aspect of this game is actually impacting your performance. Instead, and many times it's like the roguelike aspect is only really helping your knowledge, which, don't get me wrong, is incredibly important, especially in a card-based game. But when you start each new journey, it doesn't feel like you have any better cards or charms or anything of that nature, unless you end up going with a pre-selected group that is already set out for you. But aside from that, it doesn't really feel like you're able to build upon what you had done your last run. Not initially, anyway. Over time, you will realize that yes, it is all kind of culminating to give you an advantage, but in the short term, you don't really see that advantage play out. Now, as far as graphics go, this game is really beautiful. And I have to break it down, aside from the character design, which I really like, and I think each character has a lot of personality just popping off the screen, and it's not the easiest thing to do with cards. You know, like, we all know we're just looking at pictures, but it does make you kind of feel like you identify with that character a little bit. And the other aspect of it being a card game and the art that's associated with it is the fact that you can see everything clearly and understand everything. And that is incredibly important when it comes to a card game, because many of us have never played them or don't know this exact one. And so to be able to quickly find when your attack is going to happen, or what your attack is, or what buff or debuff you might have on you, that is really important. I played a few card games that don't really have this, and they're almost unplayable at that point. Well, with the art aspect really showcasing talent and creativity, I think the music does a really good job of playing off of this, as it has a more kind of comfortable feel to it. It's not epic, it's not going to be John Williams or, something from Final Fantasy, but what it does do is allow for this game to kind of flourish, and it allows for the art to stand out maybe a little bit more, to play itself more as a canvas on which the characters are painted upon. Now, ultimately, my feelings on this game are this. I went into it with really high hopes. Now, it's Chucklefish for one, and two, I kept seeing all these fantastic reviews come out about the game. And so when I started playing it, I expected more than what was there. At the end of the day, I had to recalibrate and figure that this isn't what the game said it was. It's what other reviewers said. It's what other, publications were saying about the game. And the game itself is what it is. It is a roguelike card game with incredibly great visuals. And ultimately, I worry that the fact that it's been so overhyped might be a problem. I think that there's many that might play this game and expect more. I do think that most card gamers are going to really enjoy it, potentially. I don't know if it does have the complexity that a lot of them require out of a card game. I don't know if its ability to be so accessible to someone like me might actually hurt it to hardcore gamers. Again, not a card gamer, so I don't know. Maybe there's just some impressive, crazy, complex crap that, some of you deck builders can do. Ultimately, though, I do think that this game is fun. I would definitely give it about a 7.5. And I know, throughout most of this review, I've almost trashed it, but I haven't. Well, I guess my point was to downplay it as much as I could to say that it is still a good game. And it's still a game I'm going to play. I think it has great visuals, like I said before. The actual battle mechanics and deck building is accessible enough for me to understand it and to be able to play it. I do think it does have a few problems, but ultimately, I would give it a 7.5. I would say if you are interested in playing it, you should pick it up. It's not going to be something that I think you're going to play for a few hours and then just chuck away. I think it's going to be something that's going to be in your library for quite a while. But that's my thoughts on Wildfrost. Let me know what you guys think. All of your comments down below would be much appreciated. And if any of you guys are card gamers, definitely comment down. Let me know what your thoughts are. Those are the ones I'm kind of really curious about, because again, I don't know enough about this game. Well, I don't know enough about card games, I should say. But anyway, guys, you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.